Bane Lang Muta spam. I can't beat it. Too strong.
Yeah. You could just make Hellions and Marines. That seems to usually win. If you're MVP, make Marines and win.
I'm not sure what exactly happened here.
I think dice crashed. I'm not exactly 100% sure.
Oh well, Dice was feeling overconfident, goes into it.
No problems, just leaves the game.
Yep, he just DC'd. We will get the rehost coming up soon. How many matches do we have tonight? Is it a 4v4 tonight?
The format's kind of funky actually. You have like 5 players set up, and you guys they play. It's to 4 wins, and each player's only allowed 2 wins. So Dice can only win 1 more, and after he wins, he's pretty much cut from the entire clan war. Like, you can't use him even if he went undefeated. So Dice is only every player's only allowed to 2 wins, and it's 4 wins wins the clan war. I think 4 to 5 wins. I forget.
All right. Coming from what places Fan played tonight? I know in the last clan war he 4-0'd the other team. It really wasn't a clan war. It was mostly one guy versus clan.
Yeah, I mean he all killed. He played really well, but Fan actually won't be playing tonight because he has midterms. So
who do we all have on binary side tonight?
Tonight it always rotates because a lot of people like our captain Anto or Tora Bora tends to throw out people he feels most confident in. So we'll probably see Dice, obviously, maybe Womp Beats, Forbes, Revenge, Paradise, or myself. So it really depends on the matchups because we all obviously have our strong and weak matchups, and you know, it definitely takes a lot to like figure out who's the best for the specific matchup.
Who do you feel as a Tenant player? What are your best matchups and what's your weakness?
Well, I've played all 3 races for a long time now, but then Terran's kind of my main race that I'm just coming back to just because it's one of the races I'm more comfortable with. But my weakest matchup as Terran would be like Terran versus Terran, just because it's gone from this mech style that I was really comfortable with and I really enjoyed into Marine Tank. And Marine Tank is like, it's not a bad matchup, but I just never felt really comfortable using it. So I've been trying to put in mech, and I've tried to like force my way through it, but it remains to be seen. My best matchup is probably TVZ, just because they're, even though they're overpowered, they're pretty easy. So
I would find, like, as being a starter out, my more stronger point, like, I'm better against Protoss, because for me right now, the Marine Marauder, Medevac, and Viking spam is just too strong.
Definitely. I mean, when you get to those higher levels where they start mixing in High Templar Colossus balls, it gets really complicated, especially when they have like 6 or 7 High Templar scattered throughout the map, especially on open maps like Shattered Temple, Tal'Darim. Like, they'll literally just have High Templar coming in from all angles, and you can't EMP snipe all of them, so it really becomes I think TVP is the most micro-oriented, aside from TVT, but like, going in.
Alright.
Because, yeah.
Well, let's start this game out. We have Dice in the top right, and we have, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I'm gonna say Kuz.
Could be CU Hertz, you never know. Or Copper Hertz, well, that works too. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. Yeah.
Have the opponent bottom left. It is gonna be another Zerg versus Protoss. And we can't see his spotting left right. It looks like somewhat of an early scout from the Protoss here.
It's a standard 9 pylon. They do that on the low ground, and you can drop a Forge, Gateway, Nexus, whatever the Zerg does. So this basically is to counter anti-cheese. So if Dice had 7 pooled, then he could throw down Gateway, a Forge here, and then protect his main because of timings. So it works out because Dice did 11 pool.
Alright.
So, I mean, this 11 pool, basically not all in, nothing like that. What he's going to probably do is, yeah, so Queen, 2 Zerglings, and he's going to just rush to Hatchery, and probably, these 2 Zerglings are just to force early cannons, which it already did, and, Cuz is a little caught off guard, he's supply blocked as well, so.
That's true. And the Zerglings will give him tons of map control.
Mm-hmm. What's actually worse is Cuz actually wasted this pylon here. Like, it's okay normally, but then at this point you're just wasting 100 minerals that you can't replace, and he's gonna be supply blocked actually.
That will supply block him, and then he could also. He's almost trying to block the early expansion, and he loses a probe there also.
Yeah, he was trying to do this QT trick with you drop like a building there, another building, like usually it's supposed to be a cyber core, but I guess you could drop the, another pylon, but either way, he's supply blocked, and, Dice is just gonna pull ahead right away.
It's true, though. Dice isn't going to be able to actually get in. He is going to know that he does have the early expansion, but he's blocked off there well.
Yeah, with double gateway, which is kind of interesting. I guess his gateway timing was really late because of that extra pylon he dropped down that got cancelled in the end, so he's not able to drop the cyber core. This could lead to like zealot pressure, but it would be very sketch at this point. Right now what Cuz wants is to macro up and decide whether or not he wants to hit a really strong 2-base timing or try to grab a third. Like I said, with the other Zerg vs Protoss we watched earlier today, Exotica decided to go for this kind of 2-gate wonky timing. That didn't work out very well. So we'll see if Cuz decides to do the same thing.
It does look like he is playing a little different playstyle as the Exotica.
Yeah, definitely. And we see Dice taking a fast third, which is pretty standard. Although it is kind of risky to do this without taking any gas right now. He's kind of doing this style that Spanichua made popular a while back, where it's just mass queen. He hasn't made a lot of queens, but basically the idea is you don't get gas until you get them all at the same time. But you see, Dice is taking his 2 gases at his main, so.
Though, knowing that, Dice could have known that he's just kind of playing protective at the 2 base. He may be just taking the third just because he is protective locked in.
Yeah, essentially you're right in that case. He can afford to take these kind of risks, and so Cuz is wasting a zealot to scout. Like, this is probably the most inefficient way to scout, especially since you're doing 0 damage for 100 minerals. I don't personally think this is worth it.
Though he did scout the third though. That is a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like end of the world because he did that scout, but it's really not very efficient, especially considering Cuz is actually really far behind in tech. His cyber core is starting now, and Dice has already had his third base, so there's no void. He can't deny this third at all. There's no way he can. Because normally you'd want to deny the third with a void ray or something like that, but right now he has no way to do that, so it's going to be definitely a big issue starting pretty soon.
And if we look at actually resources lost, Cuz has already lost 300 minerals this early.
Yeah, it has to do with the pylon and the zealot. I'm not sure what the other 100 stuff was. So, I mean, like I said earlier, there's this zealot pressure timing. It's not meant to do any damage but force a lot of lings, which Dice is gonna make, and he's gonna hold this off. I don't see this doing any kind of economic damage. Maybe if he gets up the ramp and he holds the ramp, but at this point, 7 Roches coming out. Roches kite zealots for as long as they want, so.
That's especially on the creep. And he is getting the Zergling speed boost. Is he a little late on that?
It's extremely late, but like I said earlier, with going Spanichua style, where you're just going mass drones, mass minerals, no gas, it's pretty standard. Dice did kind of handle this relatively poorly. He's lost, he lost 6 workers for pretty much no reason. He's playing kind of greedy, but at this point it doesn't matter. I mean, he has 3 bases saturated. He has his tech up. He has at least, Zergling speed. He has Roches. He has an Evo chamber. He's not going to die to any kind of early aggression.
We can see Cuz is pulling in 4 gateways, and he has 2 robotics facilities up though.
Yeah, this is really actually quite dangerous by Cuz, just because if he's gonna do some kind of like mass immortal play, which he looks like he's doing, just judging by the double immortal pump, as long as Dice doesn't overmake on roaches, he won't die to this. Just because immortals are the only are only used against are only good against roaches. So like if Dice decides to go mass ling, which he did earlier with the +2 lings, this could definitely be really bad for Cuz. I'm just gonna mute my mic until it clears up.
Alright, that's fine. And we can see Dice here, he is bringing in a bunch more roaches, though as Candide's been saying with these mass immortals, roaches will actually lose to all the immortals. So it's a tough play here. He is trying to make an early attack. He does have a bunch of Zealot, Sentries, Immortals, and Stalkers. A big mix, and all Dice does see this from the watchtowers, though. He is prepared. He's got Mass Roach, which actually he doesn't see the Observer. Like, Cuz sees this entire thing coming, and you can see he has 26 more Zerglings coming, though. He is starting that Zerg attack damage 1, and he also is starting for that Roach Warren. Gives roaches more move speed. Sorry I missed that fight. And you can see he does get really good walls, taking off all those Zerglings, and he does have to push back. Though those sentries are basically out of energy, so this fight, he needs those Zerglings to take down those Immortals. If he doesn't get those up, this, you can see it's going to be going completely his way. He does have the Warp Prism, and he is basically just bringing them in. It's going to be really hard for Dice to stop this push. You can see he's bringing in 30 more Zerglings. He is pulling drones here to fight. But those are perfect force fields. Completely keeps those roaches out of this fight.
Yeah, definitely. This is actually really bad for Dice just because he's having to pull drones from his natural. He's lost his Roach Warren, meaning no more roaches, although he's going to want to max out on, or he's going to want to just make mass ling, but
he has 12 links coming. He's almost has that melee level 1 attack finished, though. He's going to have a really hard time defending this, especially with that Warp Prism in, bringing tons of units in, massing Zealots, because he knows all he can build is Zerglings. I don't think Dice cannot come back from that. And we have Cuz winning game 2 over Dice, though Dice beat Exotica in game 1. So we will be going to game 3. Not sure who we will be having against Cuz from Binary Gaming.
I think we're going to throw in Forbes, our resident Protoss player. And I'm not 100% sure, but we should save soon. It was really a weird attack by Cuz, just because kind of two things really played into this. Originally, Exotica did the same kind of weird push with the 3 Immortals, but the reason why Dice's failed, or Dice, not Dice's failed, the reason why Dice defended that push last game and compared to this game is really has to revolve around creep spread. If you notice, Dice has no creep spread, so his roaches are extremely slow because they don't even have roach speed. So he won't be able to get the concave out fast enough. If he had creep spread to like halfway the map, and the Protoss was pushing against it, he wouldn't. The Protoss has to have really good force fields to stop all the Zerglings from swarming. But it's just at that point it came down to creep spread and like the reaction. How did he react? And he reacted as well as he could, but then at that point it was already too late.
It looked like he tried pulling back to fight on the narrow area, like Terran would to
at
move
the
up
choke,
the ramp.
yeah.
But I think the choke actually went against him. He should have tried swarming outside the base there.
Yeah, definitely. You're right on that. He could have delayed for a lot of time, because at this point time is for him, because he has this third base saturated. He has queens injecting and then everything. If he could just stall out time, he could eventually just swarm with pure ling. But at that point, you know, with adrenaline going and like you're thinking, how do I stop this? What do I need to do? Your best bet would be to get that superior concave, which would be to go up your ramp and, you know, set up this concave where this guy, the Protoss has to go up against you. And obviously,
force fields play a lot into this. So it's just